Hello,
What
everyone.
a first sentence.
Yes. Hope life is good, or as we say in the Eternal Society of Well-Wishers, and as it is such, so also as such is it unto you.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
I don't know if they say that in that society, actually, or if that society exists, but it can. It can.
And it will.
And okay, I suppose it will. There's some determination in the room. It's wonderful to be back with you. I'm Steve, your sleepy and slightly delirious GM. It's 3:35 a.m. in the south of Spain. We're feeling great. And I would love to just, oh my gosh, I haven't seen my players. I haven't seen y'all for a live Twitch in like 2 weeks. I promised that I'd be super old. I am. I am very old. We also promised that Gus would be beardless. Gus is already apparently on the recovery. Some gentle stubble on the return.
Some shadow.
Yeah, looking good, Gus. Not as stark as I expected, I think, for that.
Considering just going for a mustache for the month. See if I look creepy or not.
Yeah. Well, we are open to votes on Gus's appearance. He is utterly secure, and so you are welcome to cast. Yeah, we will do a poll.
Mustache or no mustache?
Yes. And I would love to hear from each of you on your favorite type of pasta and any anecdote that you feel helps us appreciate your favorite. And if you don't have an anecdote, that's fine. If you'd like to arbitrarily defend your pasta type, that's fine too. If you want to just say the pasta type and drop the mic, that's okay.
I'm so sorry, but if your answer isn't angel hair,
Whoa.
and I'm so sorry, but if you like bow tie pasta, it's
opinions. Strong
Can I
opinions.
I'm so sorry to
answer?
like a lot of Italian people, but like I can't do that. I can't do those ones.
Mm-hmm.
Can I open
I'm
my answer
limited.
with another question? Oh, sorry.
I will allow it.
Is gnocchi considered a pasta?
It should be.
I
If it
believe
is-
so. And
All
you're a
right,
chef,
then I
Danny,
think-
so I'll let you have some authority on that.
I'm saying now, I'm passing a bill. Gnocchi is pasta. And that's my favorite type of pasta. And like a brown butter, like sauce. With some like sage in there. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Pretty
the
good.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Chef
saying-
Danny.
I'm limited in the types of pasta I can have because I have celiac.
Oh,
So I get rigatoni or whatever vegetable noodle option they have, which is usually like zucchini. So it comes to the sauces for me. So I'm a vodka pasta
vodka sauce is so
person.
good.
Like I'm not a big meat sauce fan, but a vodka pasta sauce. Ugh.
See,
Yum.
I'm just a kid at heart, and I love mac and cheese.
Mm.
But I also like penne pasta, especially with a nice Alfredo sauce.
Ooh.
I like the white
Yeah.
sauces a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Alfredo pasta sauce is always just like you just want to dip into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just such a good dipper.
Mm-mm.
Like a white sauce pizza.
Yeah.
They got pasta in Spain, Steve.
Pasta in Spain is remarkably like pasta in Italy. I think it could be the proximity, could be the fact that pasta is not their thing. They're just like the US and they just sell the stuff that other people make. I don't know.
He was like, my answer is paella. Haha. Trick.
Well, I do not believe I have the authority to expand paella into a type of pasta, but
I mean, what is rice but pasta in the raw?
Honestly. Pasta in the raw.
you know, it is
Pasta
one of the
unshaped.
sources of pasta nowadays. And
You
I
try
don't mind
steaming
rice
pasta?
pasta.
I made
get rice.
risotto rice last night, and it was very involved.
Oh, it is. It's a very
Oh, it
involved
is.
process.
I'd never made it before. I was very surprised about like how long it took.
Yeah.
Risotto's
Did it
not
come
my
out?
favorite.
Yeah, it came out pretty good. I had never tried it before either, so it was very unique and different for me.
Okay.
I've been trying to find a moment where the conversation has a lull and you guys kept talking, which is great for us. However, Nikki's mic is muted and muted for some reason. So Twitch is not
no.
getting any Nikki audio.
Oh no.
Wait, why is my mic muted?
I don't know.
In Video Ninja.
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
so you
we can hear
wouldn't
you,
have-
but they can't hear you out there.
The people.
Okay,
Yeah.
try this. Is this working?
Oh, yeah, that's working.
That is so
Beautiful.
weird. Okay.
Thank you for that catch, Will, because we don't want to miss Nikki for the whole episode, let alone for her insights on
Oh,
pasta.
that'd be dreadful.
No, they actually missed all of the pasta talk.
Well,
But hey,
for all of
they
us.
you're
can
here?
guess what I like now.
For those of
if
you
you're
who read
here
lips.
and you're not going back and listening to the episodes on any of your podcast services, maybe you should go do that and you can hear Nikki's answers. Maybe that's a strategy. We should start locking banter questions behind being
Yes.
on the actual podcast.
Behind
It's just
our
our
tech
silent
problems.
It's just our
Behind our
silent
tech
moving
problems.
faces for the first like 10 minutes of each of our streams.
We can do that.
I think there's more
Just dead
suspense in
silent.
hearing a partial conversation. You know, it's like you're listening to someone on the phone and you're like, but what is the
Tier
other
one
person saying about
subscription
pasta?
to get the banter
Just-
questions. I think
Just
that's what it
randomly
should-
choose 2 to 3 of us to mute the first 10 minutes of each stream.
I can listen. I can do it right now. Who do you group vote? Who am I
There's
muting?
6 of us. No, there's
Mute
6
me.
of us. We can just roll for it.
Okay, how many of us are there?
I see
There's 6 of
5,
us.
including
I
myself.
can't count.
Gus, do you see a 6th person?
There was Justin
I
before
was thinking
session.
of Justin.
Okay.
There
I
we
got so
go.
scared. I'm thinking I'm still in spooky season. My heart rate
We've
went
just
up
been
and up
missing
so
it,
much.
y'all. We've been
Ugh.
missing
I'm
it.
just, it's been a day, guys.
Yeah.
Things have happened. Lives have changed.
Beards are gone.
3.2 million babies were born today. I mean, God.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of babies.
I made that number up. It's probably not that high.
Okay. Yeah, probably not. Well, I will say that I am a bit of a farfalla guy or a rotini guy. So the bow ties are in the
Ah.
running for me,
Oh.
jinkies. And I don't know, there's something about the bow tie where it's like if you cook it right at the nexus of the bow tie. I don't know what the correct word for that is. The tie
It's the-
part, as it were,
The
if it
nexus
were an
of the
actual bow
pasta
tie.
is what it is.
I call it
now.
the crossroads.
The crossroads
The
of the
crossroads.
bow tie is like if you can get that to like the right degree of like al dente firmness, but leave the edges of the bow tie a little on the softer side, I think that's nice. I don't know.
I'm hearing you, but I am not listening.
But I am not okay.
Can you get
She's
on a soapbox
refusing
for us,
to listen.
Jinkies, and explain why you hate bow tie?
I just think the texture in the middle is always gross. It's always gross. I don't care. There's the fact there's too much pasta there for it to like cook properly. Maybe my grandmother was bad at cooking, and if you all want to insult my grandmother's cooking, feel free. However, the middle was always gross.
Maybe if you just steamed bow tie pasta like rice. Because
I have-
pasta is just rice.
Listen, I have a rice cooker. I'm down for an experiment.
But Tina, you can't just say because pasta is just rice.
Why not
Because
steam?
that's what I said earlier.
Because it's also
not?
wheat. It's mostly wheat. It almost, I don't know.
Well, rice is just wheat in rice form.
Nope. All right.
No, that was
This
weird.
is Dustfire Media. Welcome back to Legends of the New Republic. We're excited to jump in to, I think it's episode 6, which is crazy.
Steve, Justin wants you to explain what orzo is then.
Explain what orzo is? I mean, isn't orzo like shortcut pasta shaped like rice? So it's not rice?
Isn't
Is that-
rice just
Have we... Dustin's not here to confirm if I've satisfied his
You'll
No,
never
curiosity.
know.
Justin's
You'll
on
never know.
like a 30-second delay. So you're gonna start talking again, and Justin's gonna say something in chat, and we're gonna feel like you need to respond.
Yeah. If that's what happens, that's what happens. But last time on Relics of the New Republic, we didn't talk about pasta. We talked about some very important things. Fumi, in particular, made some big moves at the end of the episode, positioning her maybe pro-bending career. We don't know. It depends on what Nikki decides to do going forward, beginning with tonight, perhaps. We met Zephyr Skydancer. Clearly a wonderful person, full of integrity and an incredible airbender, thought of highly by Tenzin.
So much integrity.
We're all in love with book number 5, Taking Flight. We loved the first 4 books. I think I've written them down somewhere. Where did I put that? But yeah, I mean, I can grab that if that comes into play. The books are fabulous. You've read them. They're bestsellers. And y'all have just walked out of the pro bending arena having successfully not only persuaded the eelhounds to let you train with them, and the next training practice was in 2 days' time back at the arena, but on your exit, team, one of Zephyr Skydancer's attendants or assistants rushes down, catches you on your way out, and lets you know that there is indeed a spot on his calendar to meet with y'all in 6 days' time. Early morning, the first of his 6 tea sessions, which they impressed upon you, is among the most honored time slots. So you have an interview booked with Zephyr Skydancer. Where do you go next? What do you do, if anything? I mean, do you lay low and rest until the training session with the eelhounds in 2 days, or do you do something in the meantime? So the camera opens on all of you as you exit this pro bending arena.
But just kind of looking around. I mean, what's a girl supposed to do when a celebrity, air quotes, wants to talk to us? Slynn's gonna turn to Fumi and say, "Are you doing that? Like the pro bending stuff?"
Yeah, why not? Sounds like fun. It keeps our end too if we need it.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, Fumi
I mean,
is slightly excited
you can become
here.
like a little celebrity.
Well, yeah, maybe, but as long as I don't have to do airbending like that guy.
Lynn has no idea what that means. So she just nods. Oh, yeah.
I really like the eelhounds. I just don't like him. Why is he the sponsor?
I mean, I imagine it's because he made all the money from writing those amazing books. Have any of you read those books? Do you know what they're called?
I've heard of them. They're not that great.
How dare, says the voice of the GM. And
Is that God?
who is that?
Where did that come from?
Lynn starts praying.
Oh no, there is no need. There is no need. Thank you for reminding me, team, in the chat. You all, as you step out into the mid-afternoon sun, feel how much you've grown together over the last arc.
Or how little we've grown.
Or how little we've grown. That's true. That's also possible that you feel that. Because we are going to start with our growth and advancement. And for those who are unfamiliar with Avatar Legends, we are going to do this on air. We won't always necessarily do growth and advancement on air, but I think it'd be fun to do the first one together. And so this is a little space for our players and our characters to think about some key things, areas in their life where they may have learned something. And that is how you do XP or experience in the Avatar Legends system. And as you'll see, I mean, the story is interesting with or without growth and advancement. You could just keep rolling without growing, but it is fun to give y'all something equivalent to leveling up over time. So what we do is we just answer questions. Every yes to a question is 1 point, which you will individually track in your growth track on your character sheet. Once that track hits 4, which it may in a single growth and advancement session, we reset it, we empty it, and then you give yourself the advancement of your choice, which could be a new move, could be a stat increase, etc. Could be shifting your center on your balance track. So let's go through the questions for everybody. So each of you will answer this individually for your character, yes or no. And you can give us a little flavor for what you're thinking around that question. So the first one is, did you learn something challenging, exciting, or complicated about the world? Anybody?
I would say learning about that underground society was kind of complicated, especially when we started talking to the detective about like this other thief as well as who we're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would agree there.
Awesome. Got some yeses, I believe. Anything else you'd add, Danny?
Well, I think Min's definitely learning just how challenging, exciting, and complicated the world is. She was kind of sheltered growing up in the Fire Nation and fleeing to Republic City and witnessing even just the past things that we've been through together in these past 6 episodes definitely changes things for her mindset. I think the biggest one is she's getting more like outward confirmation that she does hold a lot of talent with her specialty, which is archery, which is something she hasn't really experienced much before. She got a lot of backlash from her parents when it came to practicing archery. They thought there were more important things, such as academics or, chores around the house. And now that she's out on her own, a whole gang boss was like, hey, you're actually really good at that.
An entire gang boss. One
An
whole
entire
gang boss. That's true.
So, yeah.
Did you just sneak in the phrase tours around the house? Was that one of the things that was more important than
chores?
Chores. Oh, okay.
Tours.
She gives
often
public
did you have
house
to give tours
of your home. And this is the kitchen.
She did have a very big family, which required a pretty big home to hold that big family. So
yeah,
maybe she did give some tours.
Love that. Question 2. Did you stop a dangerous threat or solve a community problem? What do you think?
Nope. No, that's a no for all of them.
Everyone's shaking their head.
I'm really trying to dig deep here.
Yeah.
Okay, if we want to stretch it, okay, let's. I think that bridge was a danger to society, and Godspeed, am I happy we destroyed her for a moment, okay?
For a moment.
We stopped the danger threat against us, but that's about it.
Yeah.
We destroyed the bridge, thus bringing more jobs to the community, thus improving the community through labor.
And
that's a problem. The lower class.
Oh, wow. We just need problems to help us to work.
I think it's a confident no, I feel like.
Yeah.
No.
When you reach for that, the good old, I think
the good old, we created jobs through destruction. That's probably.
We created jobs.
Yeah. They'll make a note as a GM. If they suggest created jobs through destruction, they've gone too far.
Reel them in.
3,
Reel them in.
Reel them in. Did you guide a character towards balance or end the session at your center? Now remember, your center need not always be 0-0. It depends on where you started with your center, depending on your playbook.
Oh.
Yes and yes. Is that just one growth?
Yeah, 1
Okay.
point for the yes to the
point
either
for-
side of that question.
That's a
Guided
no for Lin on both ends.
Jingmin.
What are you shifted towards right now, Lynn?
Well, so our center is +3 stability. Right now we are +2 stability, 1 towards
Right.
risk.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe Jingmin Center is just 0.
Good old
But
0-0.
Yeah, but I did choose. Yeah, I was at first I was like mistaken. I thought you could choose to change your center at play, but it just says you can choose to shift your balance at character creation, not actually change.
Right.
your
You can
center.
choose to start away from, essentially.
Yeah, so
like
yeah,
as-
I
your
started.
center.
I started at a +1 excellence, so I started this campaign off
yeah.
center.
Yeah, same.
Well,
I-
it's showing. It's showing.
Yeah.
Well, I love
Is
it.
it?
So that's a no for you two, for sure.
No for us. Yeah.
yeah.
And then our individual playbook questions. Nikki, for Fumi the Aspirant, did you stay true to yourself in spite of others' demands? What do you think?
Yeah, I think so, because Tenzin explicitly told me not to do this, and I am doing it because I want to find the Aang's airbending staff.
Yes. A shining example. That is a point for you. And Gus, for Amahk the Adamant, did you seek support or guidance from others?
I did from Jingmin. Although it might not count because it was to trick Jingmin to giving them self-support and guidance.
But do you think there was a part of Amahk that was actually just crying for help in that?
Not yet,
Okay.
but I feel like the more safe houses we visit, maybe the more he's going to be freaking out.
Mm-hmm. Whether we hit the target perfectly on this or not, I lean yes, because at least in the moment we justified using a move that allowed you both to sort of experience the benefit of that conversation. So both directions, there was sort of a bit of counsel given. So I will say yes, and we may raise the bar on Amahk's vulnerability for this question rather than lean into the Jedi mind trick. Will, for Lin the Adrift, did you honestly and openly express a strong emotion?
No, I feel like we put up like 6 more walls.
Oh, good. Good,
I feel like we were traumatized
Very
by
good.
a certain fall.
Certain fall that you may or may not have taken part in creating.
Hey, no, that was gravity.
never crossing
And girl,
bridges.
that's not me. That's not Lin.
She may have created a hole, but she didn't create the fall per se.
Exactly.
Mm.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm open to that. That's yeah. Glad to hear how Lin is processing things. Yeah. And Danny, for Min the Prodigy, did you express gratitude to a companion for their presence, support, or teaching? What are your thoughts?
I don't think so. Yeah. No, I definitely don't think so. I know when I think had Min been a completely different person, she might have expressed gratitude to Amahk for trying to, balance her through meditation. But Min is very much not that type of person yet. So I don't see Min answering yes to this question anytime soon.
Okay. That's
So-
honest. Love that.
So well,
Yeah. Yeah. Our characters will be plenty interesting, whether or not they learn certain lessons.
Yep.
Been loving Min so far. And I agree. I think gratitude is a strong word for the things you've expressed so far on the positive side. So, well, I don't think we have a full advancement yet for anybody. Did anybody get there? I don't think so. That's all
One away.
good. Yeah. One away for you, Gus. Okay. It's coming. It's coming. We can keep adding and stacking on top of this in our next arc whenever it feels appropriate and there's a real moment to reflect for your characters is usually ideal for growth and advancement. Well, crew, we can cut back to your conversation. What are you thinking about what you do next?
Lynn wants to go home, take a nap in a
He's
bed
been wanting to do that for so long.
for like an episode and a half now.
That is totally okay, Lynn. How would Lynn say that right now?
No, she wouldn't. So here's the thing, right? It's like 3 new people that we would like to remain friends with, and they're all hustling and bustling. What are we supposed to do? So Lynn is just kind of rocking back and forth in her feet, looking
Oh, I love
around,
that.
trying to find someone else to say the word first.
Oh, I love that. Love that.
So
So Lynn scans y'all. Yeah, Min.
yeah, Min's definitely going to be the last to suggest all of us going home, because I don't think anyone else really knows that Min legit does not have a home here. And she's very embarrassed by that. And so she's just waiting for the next thing to do.
Oh, I love the dynamic of just like a group who's like, we've had a purpose until this moment. So your place, or do you have a place?
Hi. Yeah.
Still just hanging out in front of the arena. Mook looks
Just
over at Fumi, just like, "So do you think you have a catchphrase ready to go for when you knock someone out of the arena?
Oh, I haven't thought
We
about
gotta
that.
get that ready.
Maybe I should
I'm
say
gonna be
you've
your
been.
manager. I gotta worry about it.
Maybe I should say you've been blown away.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Maybe you should
Could use
watch
some
on that a
work.
little bit.
Huh.
You guys
I think-
hungry at all? You want to take a second? We've been running around for a few days now. It feels like.
oh, didn't we just get noodles like before training?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then
It is now
made that
lunchtime,
sandwich.
and
Oh,
Lynn
just
may
lunch.
not know that people do eat often, more than once
No,
per
that's
day.
a really accurate read.
Nearby,
You guys
if
wanna
you
just
are
go back?
so inclined, Amahk, there obviously you could go back the route you came and hit up Ping and Pong, or you are also quite close to Toto's Cat Gator Stew. So those are options if you decide to eat.
Do we want to go back to the cat owl cafe?
The Owl Cat Cafe.
Ow.
The owl cat
yeah.
cafe?
That
Or-
might be good.
Do we just want to like hang out here? I guess.
We can go to the Owl Cat Cafe, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Lynn,
no.
Lynn, are you cool? Are you good?
No, I'm good, guys. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
No, you're good. Okay. Well, we all seem completely fine and stable mentally. Let's all go.
Hey,
Okay,
let's
yeah.
go take a break.
On the walk, Min will walk up to Fumi and be like, Fumi, I definitely think after your first win, you should definitely fire the depressed writer.
Yeah. Except we kind of do need him still to find Aang staff.
Yeah.
Also, can I fire someone if he's the sponsor for the team?
I mean, if you win big enough, you might not need a sponsor.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, or you could challenge him to single combat.
Oh, I totally win.
Because I doubt he's anywhere near as good as an airbender as he makes himself out to be.
If he was, then he would be joining the games.
Exactly. So I'm leaning towards the single combat side of things, but you're the one joining the team, so you make your decision. I'll just be watching from the sidelines, cheering you on.
Well, thank you, Min. It means a lot.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, you make it without incident to the Owl Cat Cafe, where Lynn is not at ease to be in the presence of wonderful creatures and various designs that represent owl cats. There are hot beverages, there are cold beverages. Do you process anything? I'm sure Lynn will have trouble with it, but does anyone share anything as you unwind over your beverages?
Amahk is definitely at this point going to like crunch everyone in and share the map just to double check to make
Oh.
sure we haven't seen any things that happen to correspond with what's on the map. Just kind of pull everybody in as he brings the drinks. He's like, "Okay, I got an iced jasmine tea. What did you guys get?"
Just water.
I got a coffee. I'm ready to go.
Water,
Black
coffee,
black tea, extra black.
and you're
Black
you're
tea
gonna
and
stop
coffee.
growing if you keep drinking black tea and coffee. It'll stunt your growth.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've been drinking black tea and coffee my entire life, and I'm a completely normal height.
Amahk just shakes
Right.
his head. Okay. We hand out everybody's drinks. All right. So remember that day. Try not to say the day the Fire Nation attacked. Not the day that the Fire Nation attacked. When everything went down and we were fighting off those Red Lotus members.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The turncoat shoved this in my hands, and I wasn't sure what to make of it. But I think it might be definitely connected to everything we're dealing with, but I just don't know how yet. And I wasn't sure when to share this with all of you, but I think now is the perfect time to do so. Just tell me what you think, because I don't know. Lay out the map on the table, make sure nobody's looking over at us, and just share the information with everyone.
Yeah, so for the group, you see a map unfold, and
Yes.
it includes not just Republic City, but the four nations. And there are marked locations across the map. No labels on those markings, but the concentration is in Republic City for the markings. And so you see a police record storage unit. You see a marking for the new Air Nomad Island, a marking for the exhibition room in City Hall, where they had the commemoration of the spirit world that was interrupted by the Red Lotus attack, and the very museum where you had seen Avatar Aang's staff, or you thought you had. It was a fake. So the place where it was stolen from, a museum newly commissioned, those are all marked on the Republic City portion of the map. And then there are markings spread throughout, just locations outside of Republic City as well.
Wait, is this like where they're targeting?
I'm not sure, but it definitely matches up with everything we've already run into.
So are they
No.
going to steal more from the air nomads?
I think so. I just don't know what.
Oh, gosh.
As they're conversing about it, Min is just really studying the map, and I specifically want to look out for any kind of hidden details or markings, maybe some sort of pattern that's not immediately like prevalent.
Yeah.
Upon first looking at the map.
Sounds like a move to me, Danny.
Yes. Yes, it is.
National treasure.
So I would
Sounds like the national
to...
treasure move.
this might trigger a few things. So I want to assess the situation if you think that's appropriate.
Yeah, I do.
Which would trigger wait and listen. You basically use assess the situation to absorb hidden or deep information of like what you're looking for. So I would have to mark 1 fatigue for that. And would you say that this would be using my mastery skill of sensing?
I tend not to think of sensing as being about that. But that could be the learning curve for me. What do you think, Danny?
I don't know. It's really all they give in my extraordinary skill prodigy section is just I had to choose two masteries, one's sensing, one's breaking. I do get your argument where like sensing might be more like environmental sensing rather than studying a map.
Yeah, I feel like that's the more obvious sweet spot for Jingmin. It's going to be
Yeah.
that type of observational attunement.
Yeah.
Whereas this feels like more like a deep analytic study of something
Yeah.
potentially cryptic.
Which makes sense to be something that wouldn't be much of Jingmin's forte. So,
Okay.
all right, yeah. So no, so then I will take a -2 to assess the situation because I'm angry.
Oh no! Yeah.
So,
Yep.
But that just brings me to 0. I'm just gonna roll +0.
It all evens out.
Yep, I do become prepared because of this move. So I guess
Okay.
I forget. Wait, can I unmark prepared to just add +1 to this?
If you would be
Or-
getting prepared from this move, I don't think you have prepared
Yeah,
status until
yeah.
after the move resolves. You can cash that in on some other roll.
Heard.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
yeah, let's see that roll then. You've marked a fatigue to use your heightened
Yeesh.
assess the situation. Correct?
Yeesh.
Okay.
I rolled a 7.
Okay. And just to make sure I have your move in mind, does it change the questions you can ask for assess the situation, or are they the same?
No, they're just the same.
Okay. Very good. Well, you ask one question, Jingmin. What is your question?
So it's funny. 2 of these questions can kind of fall in line with one that I had in mind. Either what is the biggest threat, or who or what is in the greatest danger. Because what I'm really trying to find out is which marking are they hitting next, basically.
Yeah.
As well as just what should I be on the lookout for. So I think I'm just gonna do what is in the greatest danger and what should I be on the lookout for. Well, I just asked one question. I just asked one question. Sorry, my bad.
Yep, it's all right.
Yeah. So I just what's in the greatest danger then?
Okay.
If you'll
What's
let me
in the
kind of
greatest
swing
danger?
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you think over this map, and it seems to you that the police records unit would be a difficult thing to target. Very broad, very complex. Not long ago, you and Fumi spent ample time in the archives digging through things to no avail. Not only is it very secure, central facility in Republic City, very well staffed, but to target a specific folder or document or something like that, that's one thing. But to do anything at a larger scale seems to you like less of the threat or concern. What you're more concerned about as you look at this, just thinking as Jingmin thinks, is the Air Nomad Island does not have nearly as much focused security. It does have fledgling airbenders. Tenzin is sometimes there, but often away on business. And so you kind of look at that spot on the map, Min, and you wonder if that's a point of vulnerability at least.
Yeah, Min will speak out and say, I don't really like that. The air temple's on there.
Yeah, I don't either. Maybe I should go back there.
Maybe we should all go back there.
Almost in confirmation of your concern, you hear just faintly at first outside of the Owlcat Cafe some commotion. And it's easy enough through the foggy windows, more foggy from the steam on the inside of the place than anything else, that there are paper boys and paper girls dishing out newspapers. And there are people gathering around them because it is an extra edition. It's a second print within the same day, which only happens for urgent news. And so you keep hearing the faint extra, extra. and people are shuffling up and paying their 1 yuan to grab a paper outside.
Yeah,
I'm
Fumi's
just
gonna
gonna
go
go
out
grab a paper,
and
yeah.
get one.
Yeah.
Get a paper. Love it.
Oh, Lynn is following, just we're all on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's pick one of you. Fumi, as you unfurl a paper from one of these paper boys and your eyes kind of pour over it, there's a few headings, but the one at the top is clearly the reason why the extra was printed. And it says, Shadowpaw strikes again.
Fumi like start looking down that paper to see where.
Yeah. So let's see. What do I have here? Another relic has gone missing. Appa's saddle. A
What?
large and extremely difficult thing to move. What a feat! With telltale mark of none other than Shadowpaw to accompany it. Was this a copycat? The article raises. Is Shadowpaw really a network of thieves with lots of muscles? We can only speculate.
Does
Other
it
than
say
that,
where Appa was?
yeah. Yeah, it doesn't take long to find out that it was taken from Air Temple Island.
How can they do that? Oh. Fumi is like visibly upset.
The last note on there before the article closes, I mean, it's very brief. There's probably live info still making its way to tomorrow's edition. It just says that unfortunately Council Member Tenzin was unavailable for comment, but thankfully the charming Zephyr Sky Dancer was able to share his coveted insight on the situation, saying, and quote, "First Aang's staff, now this. When will the erasure stop? Now more than ever, it is a dangerous thing to be an airbender. I dare whoever is out there to come out of the shadows and face me. I challenge you to a Vayu Kai. I don't care your element or weapon of choice. Face me." And it ends there on a dramatic note. And some of the people around you who've opened their papers are like, "Oh, Zephyr is so brave."
Oh my gosh, he wasn't even there. He was at that dumb book signing.
Some people look a little peeved as you say that out loud, Fumi, and they turn over at you, looking over their papers. "Excuse me. He would have done something if he were there. He will do something.
Min
He's
looks
the
at whoever
Sky
says
Dancer."
that and audibly growls, goes,
Lynn's just gonna put a hand on Min's shoulder. Please stop. Please don't. No, please stop.
Extra. The paper dispensers move on. It's all over Nuktuk News, Harmony Herald, even Spirit Wire is covering this.
I need to get back to Air Temple Island and see what actually happened.
Before we move anywhere, Amahk wants to like cross-reference the map and kind of like, okay, they've hit here, they've hit here, they've hit here. What's left in Republic City that we don't know they've stolen from?
Yeah. What is left? I would say, based on what we've established for the markings in Republic City, that the only thing left is the police records storage unit, as far as zero activity to your knowledge happening there so far.
Mm-hmm. Umi, I know you want to get back to the island, but I think we might be too late to do anything. If this map is right, Shadowpaw might be at the police station next. When?
Well,
I don't know. Maybe we should try to get back in there.
Do you think that they'd really strike now, right after they did this other one?
I bet tensions would be kind of high.
What better time to steal something from the police when the police are trying to figure out what got stolen? Airbender Island, right? That's how I'd do it.
Fumi just kind of grimaces, like hating that he's right.
Okay, I guess we're getting to go.
Yeah.
Do we want to break
No.
in Or should we just try to walk in? 'Cause I got a
Let's
plan if we want to break in. I'm not gonna lie.
no.
I know what we should do. I don't.
Maybe
Up
we
to
should
you.
check out the situation over there first.
Yeah, I feel like if we break in and they're expecting a visitor, I don't want to get arrested again.
It's fair. Fair.
Yeah, last
Make
night
sure
was
we have
kind of
the bail
close
money
enough.
ready.
As long as I get to shoot someone, I'm fine.
That's the
Look
way to
over at
approach a
Jingwei.
visit to the police records.
Lynn's hand on Min's shoulder tightens a little bit.
All right. Do
It's
we need
just
to pick up anything before we
seemingly
get to
unfazed.
the police station?
No.
Did we ever eat?
No,
We had drinks.
We
We had
ordered
our
the
coffee.
food. We have our teas. I ordered 4 brick toasts, but they never came to the table.
Terrible service here at the Owl Cat.
Why
Oh,
did- who
Assuming
chose
one of the
this?
owl cats ate it.
It just seems just like them. Oh, awful things.
Did we establish that they only sound like cats? I believe we did, right? Like
Yeah.
they just meow.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the cats who looks a little extra large in the tummy area is just kind of like perched on the counter next to some empty plates. They may or may not have made it to you. There's always time for food later, though.
Yeah.
It's all right. We
So,
can quench
based
our
on
hunger and with Mortal Kombat.
There is a good dumpling spot next to the police station, though, so we can just want to eat there.
Or
You know what they say about the police, right? They all love dumplings. Some station there.
Let's go to the
Dumplings and doofuses, right? That's what we call the police here in Republic City.
D&D, baby.
Lynn's again nodding like she knows what we're talking about.
Well, you do pass by the infamous dumpling shop. And
What is it
based on
called?
what you described, what's that?
What is the dumpling style called?
The dumping ground.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Can't be stopped.
Yeah, it's definitely a less charming title than even the lopsided container of liquid, but we'll roll with it.
At least it's not called like Dumpies or something.
No, Dumpies went out of business a while back. There are rumors that it's going to return, but so, I mean, based on the approach you've described, and feel free to change this, split party, whatever you want to do individually as characters. Don't feel stuck because I narrate this. But it sounds like the approach is a front door approach to see if anything of note is happening first before taking perhaps more drastic measures. And so, Fumi, you ascended the steps of the archives building, police records unit. And it seems like the usual level of hustle and bustle. Right now, people who are kind of just finishing off the like lunch window are queuing up. Maybe some of them tried to make a visit, get some business done towards in the end of that break window. And so there's a small queue for people who are going in, making sure that they've, displayed that they have no weapons on them, that sort of thing, being processed, stating their intent regarding the archives, and then going in. And so you could line up in that zone if you wanted to enter the records directly. Yes, Lynn?
Don't we have a weapon on us?
Oh, yeah.
Indeed you do.
Yeah.
And you're referring to Jingmin the person,
Oh,
correct?
sure. And also the boomerang.
No, didn't we stashed the boomerang?
It's
Yeah.
with me.
On
Well, the
Fumi's
boomerang
person.
is stashed on her person in a sash.
Yeah.
No one would look under an
sash
airbending
stash.
sash. The airbending sash is like a sign of peace,
Mhm.
right?
Uh,
It's
It's
like
like-
the diplomatic
Well,
immunity.
unless they have like detectors, that might be a problem.
I don't think there are boomerang
Well, it is-
detectors, even
Yeah, I don't
though we
think
know that
metal
Korra
detectors
era has
exist.
some tech.
I feel like, I don't know, a metal bender being a metal detector.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Not
Maybe
to,
I
not to
would
give
give
it,
him
get
that
us
idea.
into trouble here, but it's just too good of an opportunity to pass up.
Yeah, that's actually kind of true.
Let's wait like another 3 generations.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
We got time. Well, I mean that if you see metal benders kind of patting people down, this type of thing, you know that Sokka's boomerang is wooden, and you also know that Jing's bow is like a rich mahogany look. There's some metal. It's also just such a large bow that you couldn't conceal it, at least not on Jingmin's body. Maybe on a person 3 times her size
Yeah.
with a trench coat, but.
Maybe Jingmin should take an alternate route inside.
If you want your bow on you, Jingmin, that option does occur to you.
Lynn's gonna get in line.
All right.
Yeah. Fumi's also going to get in line.
Okay. Yeah, so people are being pat down. State your business. You two guys.
Amahk will line up as well.
Okay.
Jingmin will start in the back of the line, sort of wide-eyed, like side to side, and back up, and start sort of sidestepping
Oh God.
away and start moving towards the side of the building.
Okay.
She's gonna walk a perimeter around the building until she gets to a point where there's not really much people around.
Yep.
And then once she gets there, she's gonna grab a arrow with a bow with a rope attached to it and try to shoot it over onto the roof of the building and try to latch onto something over on the roof of the building.
Have you done this before, Jingmin?
Yes. Because remember,
Okay.
I've established that Jingmin uses makeshift grappling arrows to sort of roam the rooftops of Republic City.
Sounds like rely on your skills and training.
Heck yeah. I am not. Oh, I am. I am troubled. So this would give me a -2. But I do have a mastery called breaking. And I'm breaking in to this government building.
Hit me with the description for breaking from your playbook.
It just says breaking. Like I
It's
said,
just
it's
the
breaking and sensing. And so it says you start play with. So you aren't just capable in your area of skill and training. You're astonishing, a true prodigy, excelling and learning far more quickly than anyone would expect. Choose 2 areas in which your mastery is particularly impressive. It just says breaking and sensing. Those are the 2 that I chose.
Yeah. What are the other options? Just for our sake, Danny.
Shaping, maneuvering, forcing, and guarding.
Interesting high level assumption exercise around the meanings of verbs. Who would call this semantic domain mapping in certain classes?
Yeah. Honestly, I'm going to self-handicap again. I think breaking is more in line with like using just like straight up like aggressive force. Like I think
with the aim to destroy, right?
Yeah. Well, I think when she flung herself at that car in that chase, that was definitely using her breaking mastery.
Mm-hmm.
I think until maybe she goes a more aggressive route, I don't think she's using breaking right now. So I'll take the -2.
Cool.
Look
This is
at
how
me
you know
being
your players
an
are
honest
good.
player.
When they self-handicap things. Yeah. Give me the roll. What did you get?
Yeah, so I get a +2 on focus, but I'm troubled, so it's -2, so it brings it to 0. But that's fine because I got a 5 and a 6.
All right.
For an 11.
So it is 11.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you do it, Jingmin. And there are no consequences. So narrate for us your ascent of the building.
So yeah, she's sort of like walking with her hands behind her back. She turns a corner on the side of the building. She's like whistling, but she can't whistle, so it's just like really spitty, like blowing with like tight lips, you know. It's like, and she's like looking around. When she notices that there's no one around, she'll pull out this bow, her bow, and just, and it latches onto something. She gives it a little tug. It seems to have caught on something. Most things can hold her weight because she is so small. And she just begins to sort of grapple up there, just using the rope to help her climb up over the side of the building.
Yeah, with the camera, we just see the arrow, like in between, like just like the tip of the arrow and the fletching of the arrow are just like barely lodged into like the crevice between like a crack and some other like adjacent, outcropping of the building. And the string is like kind of mostly tied in the middle. So the thing is just bending. Like the shaft of the arrow somehow holds Jingmin's tiny weight as she ascends this. And yeah, you enter with excellence, Jingmin, and you see before you several vents through which you could possibly enter the building. There are also windows, but as you would expect, they are very thick-looking reinforced type of windows. And they are, the windows are more like central to the building structure, and you'd be dropping down straight onto the center of a well-guarded area just beyond the security checkpoint. So just to give you that sense of your options.
Yeah. I think Jingmin's always wanted to infiltrate a bending via ventilation, so she'll just choose one of the vents and hop in.
I'm so glad that this lined up to achieve one of your dreams.
So out of curiosity, at what point did we lose sight of Jingmin while we were in line? Like, rounded the building?
That's a great question.
They got up top.
Yeah, round the building would be the point at which Jingmin is out of sight. And I would say timing-wise, that happens after they've processed Lin and Fumi, but not you, Amahk. You kind of notice over your shoulder that Jingmin's gone, out of sight, right before you would step in and declare your intent and hand over any weapons. What do you do?
I feel like Amahk would be very torn between, God, do I follow Jingmin? Amahk is just gonna like take a big deep breath in. I'm gonna trust the little one. Gonna let them by themselves. Throw in. Do it this way. Plan B. We'll just go.
Okay.
We'll just walk in, go through security.
Awesome. And so, yeah, the three of you get in without incident as far as the pat down. Fumi, thankfully, the boomerang is left untouched in the process. You are under the radar. I will have you, at least in retrospect, say whatever you said for declaration of intent. Just each of you in turn. So first, let's do Lin. What are you doing here today?
Oh, I'm on an assignment for school. They wanted us to look at the archives and the artifacts and write a paper about one of them.
Oh, lovely. I hope it's a good time.
Thank
This
you.
way? And they turn to you, Fumi. And you?
I'm looking into things for Tenzin for the air nomads.
Ah, very impressive. Great to have so many young people here today. And I mean, even in the sound of their voice and the like lax manner, you're like, I wonder if this is like a volunteer or a retired person picking up some hours type of a deal. And Amahk, they turn to you. And what about you, soldier?
Just kind of look at them, just like, need you to come close. I don't want to say this too loud. There's listening ears everywhere. This is a big deal.
Okay.
I'm looking into the archives to see if I can find the blueprints to the original design for Dumpy's. I'm gonna bring it back. I paid for the permit. I just need the
I've
blueprint.
heard they were gonna bring it back.
Gotta stay quiet about it.
They said I was crazy, but I wasn't. Dumpies is coming back.
Dumpies is coming back. I'm bringing it back.
Someone needs to put that dumping ground in check, I'll tell you that. Well, come on in. That's a noble cause. I don't feel any need to make you roll a trick. I think that was just comedic and awesome. So thank you for taking an indulgence there. Well, you get in without incident. As you would expect, nothing of note on the way in, hearing people state their various reasons. Yours were the most interesting. Among the possible reasons for visiting an archive, you go past a few folks who are guarding doors, and you're able to kind of pass through the main atrium, over which Jingmin is standing, or at least over which she was standing. You've gone into the vents now. Is that right, Min?
Yeah, she just sort of picked and chose one randomly and started crawling into a vent.
Okay.
It's the at random that I'm like, Jigman.
I have assumptions here. I know. I have assumptions here, but I want to ask, what is Jingmin's goal right now?
Well, first of all, she was looking at, the metal benders patting people down, and she looked at the bow that's just slightly taller than her that she has on her back. And she's like, oh, there's no way I'm getting in with this. And she was very turned off by the idea of like handing someone else the bow to like conceal it better. It's her bow. She wants it on her person. So she was like, I'm not getting in here without my bow.
Yeah.
And so her plan is ultimately to get in her own way and try to meet up with them at some point in this building.
It's helpful to know that, like, yeah, your goal is just to get inside with the bow. Okay.
Yes.
For that, I will not make you roll.
Okay.
In a little bit of time, Jingmin. In fact, you're not sure how much time, because you do a fair amount of shuffling around those vents. It feels like it might be a really long journey, but then you wonder about your perception of that, because, it is kind of an uncomfortable spot to be in. It's a bit tedious, especially moving a bow through the vents while army crawling. There's a lot of clanking as you navigate, and the ends of the bow kind of bonk against the metal.
Oh, no.
But eventually, you look down through a grate and you see an office space. There's some pencil pusher, hard to say through the vents. Not talking to anybody. It's just a very small room with a desk and one window and a hot coffee. Actually, let's say tea. This is Avatar after all. And a hot tea is on the office desk.
Modernization hasn't fully happened yet. So the pencil pusher.
Yeah.
Are they looking towards the vent?
No, it is on the ceiling, and they tend not to stare at the vent unless they're feeling especially bleak and hating work.
Oh no. Oh dear. Now I kind of wish they were looking at the vent because I feel like I'd make their day.
Don't say
that.
You may just
an
yet.
idea.
No, I'm going to try to very silently open the vent and like
Jingmin.
slide it open.
So the goal then is to open a vent silently.
Yeah.
It's so hard to know if this is worth a push your luck or not. Yeah, push your luck, Jingmin. Let's see what
Okay.
happens.
I mean, it's just
You
one
are
guy,
a
right? It's just one
prodigy.
guy.
I don't know.
If he notices me, I'll just challenge him to single combat.
Jingmin has a great plan, everybody. We're gonna make it. Don't worry.
Just fist fight everybody you
Alright,
disagree
push your
with.
luck.
Sound like my grandmother. Oh,
Yes.
God.
All right, that is 9 normally. I am guilty, so that's -2, so it brings it to a 7. But my passion is +1, so that's an 8.
I just want to commend
Sorry for
Danny
that emotional
rolling,
roller coaster.
for taking moves while having 3 conditions marked.
Yeah.
I know, I mean, it's Jingmin's
You didn't even
personality to
take a
trudge ahead.
nap. We need to take a nap at the Owlcat Cafe to get rid of any conditions.
Yeah, well, you can't nap away those feelings. You gotta act them out.
It's not a very Min thing to do.
That's right. That's right. And so, Danny, just feel free on that note as a player, take stock of what you can do to clear each condition if you want to do anything. Like I'm open to arguments about what will clear a condition. So yeah, let's. Your total was
8.
okay.
Yes, 8.
Fascinating. All right. Well, on an 8, you do it, but it costs you to scrape by. So, remarkably, the thing you're focusing on, which is stealth, Jingmin, you manage reasonably well for being cooped up inside of a shaft and trying to
Really tiny.
unscrew the bolts of this vent. And as it swings open, you're able to kind of catch it just before it like creaks, and you pop your head out of the now hanging open vent, and you see that this person is actually napping at their desk. Their head is tilted back. They have a telltale oversized bubble coming out of their nose as they snore. But here's the cost. They all of a sudden snort, just and look around, and then seem to be at ease. It's like, the boss isn't here. Well, okay. And then they start to look down at their the papers in front of them on their desk and begin cosplaying being a worker again. But now they are fully alert.
Oh. I'm gonna look around, kind of gather my surroundings. Where would I be in relation to the entrance where the rest of the party came in through?
I'm trying to figure out if that's an assess the situation or not. It doesn't seem so based on the typical breadth of the question. I'm just going to say that based on the turns that you took in that shaft, you have no idea, Jingmin.
All right.
But the building isn't enormous.
Can I just say Jingmin will try to, as inconspicuously as possible, just wander until she runs in to Amahk, Fumi, and Lin?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm just picturing you having kind of caught the vent. This person looks around the room. They don't look up. And now they're like looking down at their desk. So you are going to come down out of the vent. Is that correct?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes. No, I'm still in the vent.
Cool,
yeah.
cool.
So yes, I'm going to try to drop down.
Okay. Well, you drop down and they look up at you and they blink a few times and then they go to rub their eyes.
As they're rubbing their eyes, Jingmin will take a ball-tipped arrow that she has in her quiver and pull it back as far as she can and try to launch it right at his forehead.
Oh my goodness. Rely on your skills and training.
Yes, and I do think this would be using my breaking mastery.
For what? Breaking his forehead?
Oh
my god.
I'm going to break his will and his consciousness.
He's a retiree. We've established they're volunteers.
Okay.
Oh boy.
You said rely?
Yeah. I mean, this is a point blank shot. You've done much harder things than this, Jingmin.
Would you disagree with me that this is using my breaking mastery?
What's the mechanical benefit of using breaking mastery?
I would ignore my troubled condition, which would normally give me a -2 to my rely on your skills and training.
I personally don't think I can let you off that easy. I would like for you to account for the troubled condition in this shot.
I'll account for troubled.
Okay.
Because that Jingmin definitely is. Dear Lord. Okay.
What do we got?
The 4 and a 5 plus 0
Base 9.
for a 9. but I could uncheck prepared.
Oh,
Bring
Are you
that
gonna
up
do
to
that?
10. I think so, yes. So I'll uncheck
right.
prepared and bring that up to 10.
You cash in your preparedness, Jingmin, and in a
Cashing
moment
in
of
my
resolve.
preparedness.
Yeah. You land your quick shot. And so this person just like rubs their eyes, blinks to see if you come into focus, and you do not, because they lose consciousness as a rubber ball tipped arrow plants itself right in the middle of their head. And they just fall back asleep and continue snoring, reproducing the same nose bubble. I've just made
Jingmin-
Jinkies hide behind a fan. I love it.
This is so scary.
Jingmin definitely notices that. Jingmin definitely notices that in fact, it's impossible for her to reach the vent to close it. So she's just gonna leave that open, but she is gonna retrieve her arrow and then commence trying to stealthily wander the building until she runs into her 3 friends.
Totally accurate detail. Excellent work, Jingmin. You are in the building. You have incapacitated a pencil pusher. We know not whether they were a volunteer, a retiree.
Oh God! Oh God!
But they're middle aged. You can speculate, you know. But in any case, you got done what you wanted to get done. Let's cut.
Yeah.
So the other 3 of you, Amahk, Lin, and Fumi, you pass into the library archives, and people are shuffling around doing the usual. What do you do, if anything, in particular, to investigate or to keep watch or whatever?
Can I look around? Right? Is there a docent anywhere, or assuming the archives would have some sort of information?
Yeah.
booth, I guess.
Yeah, there's a kiosk close to the front, and there's somebody there with a very wispy-looking gray wig. Some nice, thick-framed golden spectacles.
So I just go up to the kiosk and just ask them real quick. Hi, this is gonna sound weird, but what is the most treasured thing here at the archives? I've always wondered. Like, I'm always here to look for blueprints or to look for, old letters from the war. What is the archive considered their most treasured possession?
Son, that is the least weird question I've heard this week. Do you spend much time around here?
Not very often.
I see. Archive visitors are the strangest sort. Why, just the other day, someone was trying to resurrect dumpies. Anyway,
Oh, I've heard they're coming back.
so have I. I don't believe the tales, though. But anyway. So yes, you were looking for something valuable. What is the most valuable or treasured thing? Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Just out of scholarly curiosity. I am so sorry. My words.
Oh, it's
escaped
quite
me.
all right. Words are difficult. That's why we have archives and libraries and such. Well, I suppose that it depends on what someone considers valuable. And she goes on a very long philosophical monologue,
Oh,
leaving you no room to escape.
Just to look over at Fumi and Lin. Just go.
Fumi's just gonna like look around for anything that looks valuable.
Yeah, Lin will follow Fumi.
Yeah. Well, while Gus is still trapped in politeness, what do the 2 of you do? Anything else?
Really just like looking around to see if there's anything on display. Like any artifacts.
Can someone remind me, what was the artifact that was stolen from the showing we were at?
The Air Temple Island?
No, from the showing we were at. We have
Oh, the dragon egg.
the egg. Okay.
Dragon egg.
Trying to
Yeah.
figure out.
I remember because
Lynn's going to try and look for something related to the Aang era, because 3 of the 4 items, or 2 of the 3, It's so hard to keep track of numbers like this for me. Are related to
That's fine.
the Aang era. So if there's something displayed prominently from that era, maybe that's what they're going after.
Ooh. Well, yeah. Let's say that is an assess the situation.
Give me 1 second. Oh,
And Nikki, could you clarify what Fumi was thinking
Oh,
as well
no.
while she looks?
Oh no. What does that face mean?
Just like looking for like anything that is on the wall or in a case or something
Okay.
like that.
Okay, so this will be very much in harmony then. Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure it wasn't significantly disparate. Yes, Lynn.
That
What
was
is
a
this
12.
roll?
Natural.
Hey!
Oh.
Excellent. Excellent.
We're also
Well-
learning the faces that represent good rolls or bad rolls for each other. So I was very scared
I
that
was like,
Jinkies rolled really bad.
Yes. Well, on a 10 plus, you get to ask two questions. What here can I use to da-da-da? Who or what is the biggest threat? What should I be on the lookout for? What's my best way out in or through? Who or what is in the greatest danger? And I'm open to creative variations on those questions within certain limits. And I'll put them in the chat in case it's useful.
So, what is in the greatest danger? Feels very applicable here.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. Do you want me to answer that before you
Yes,
choose your second
please.
question? Okay. Yeah. You scan this facility and the rows and rows of shelves and boring looking filing cabinets. And you think, surely there's lots of valuable information here. But either someone would have to know a very specific file and be after that, or if they were trying to remove this stuff, it would be so impractical to do so without just destroying it all at once.
Uh-oh.
And in the absence of seeing anything particular to the Aang era, you wonder, Lynn, if someone wanting to erase stuff here would really just erase the whole thing.
Okay.
So maybe the
Ooh.
answer in your mind is that the collective
Yeah.
total of what is here is in the most danger.
Oh, that's so scary.
A swing wide
Ooh.
approach.
Okay. Second question.
Yes.
Could we essentially stretch what should we be on the lookout for potential areas a thief could enter from? Or someone with ill intent?
I love how Jingmin has given us a partial answer to that.
Yeah, I wasn't going to call her out, but
Depends on if they're willing to take out none other than the pencil pusher. Okay. Yeah, so using what should I be on the lookout for as a way of like points of entry to be on the
Yeah.
lookout for. Well, yeah, Jingmin, on your way in, you noticed the ceiling kind of windows that I described before. And you thought, well, it would take a lot of force to get through those. Otherwise, you're only aware of the main entrance through which you came, another entrance that seems identical, but seems primarily to be used as a one-way exit, kind of your emergency door type of deal. Other than that, you think that someone up to no good would have to come in exactly the way you
I
did.
hate that because that means we might be bad people. Just kidding. We're not. Unless.
And the big twist. We were
Depends
the
on what
villains
Jingmin
the
decides
whole
to do.
time.
Yeah.
I think
So that is your. Yep.
with Lynn's realization, the same look she had when we fell from the bridge comes over. Like, oh god, this whole place is coming down. Weird. Oh, okay.
Lynn, are you okay?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it later. Okay, I just be really bad to say it here.
Wait. Are you sure? Do we need to step aside? You look
Nope,
pale.
that's just the way I look. We're good. Just once we get out of here, I'll tell you.
Oh, but we still need to find the artifact.
This is a lot of paper, Fumi. I don't think there are artifacts here. Let's get a mook.
But it was marked for a reason.
I think the reason is bad.
Okay, let's talk to Amahk. Why don't you see if you can save him from the person over there?
Okay. Lynn
and Fumi. Yeah. You can feel free to narrate, Lynn. Yeah,
pale,
go for it.
verge of tears. Really going through another fifth circle of hell on this very same day. Approaches Mook and just grabs his arm and says, I think I'm gonna puke. I think I'm gonna puke. We have to go.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let me just.
And
finish.
that's why it matters differently to different people and their background. And so I suppose that in conclusion, we could say, feel free to interrupt at any time, Amahk.
I just liked where you're going with that. I'm like, I am so sorry, ma'am. This one is not feeling well. We don't want to get any sort of vomit on the archives. We're just gonna step outside. We'll
well,
be back. And
that's quite all right. They never listened to the end. And she comes back down and starts putting more notes in.
I just, as we're walking out, turn back to her. I'll be back. I'm the one bringing Dumpies back. It's real. And then just walk out.
Fumi is not quite sure about leaving. Still.
Yeah, it's taking some force, Lynn, to drag Fumi back out.
Maybe we should see if there's an archive on artifacts.
Do we have to do that, or can we just go for now? It's not hard to get back in.
Yeah, but we just got in here. I can take a look around for that while you go outside and get some fresh air.
Oh, fine. Okay.
Amahk just takes Lynn outside to get some air.
Excellent. As the two of you step outside, Fumi, and you turn back in to the archives, trying to look for a section, but perhaps focused on artifacts, you bump into a police officer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. And you notice, Fumi, that they're sweating. They look uncomfortable. Have a good day. And they walk past you and continue on towards the security checkpoint to exit.
Fumi kind watches them for a moment, and then I should know Fumi follows them. Okay.
So Fumi, they go back through the checkpoint using the kind of police only exit, but the door is just aligned with and adjacent to everything else. And so you surmise that if you were just to go right out the entrance where Amahk and Lynn just went, you would be close behind this officer. Do you follow and exit the building?
Yeah.
Okay. As soon as you step outside, you see Amahk, you see him comforting Lynn as best he can. And then just kind of past them, you see out of this alternate exit, the police officer just takes off at a full run.
Fumi chases after him, like, hey, stop!
And seconds later, there is an enormous explosion in the police records unit. Sound of shattering glass, just a booming sound echoing through the neighborhood. Papers in the air, ashes. And you have the choice to either continue after this police officer or go in to help the folks who have inevitably been impacted by this explosion.
Ooh.
Wait, where is...
Let's cut to
I was going to
Jingmin.
say, where's Jingmin?
Jingmin, as fate had it, you took the wrong corner and went to the opposite end of the building and into a bathroom before you ended up finally finding the hallway that would take you to the central area and then eventually the archives. You hear and feel this explosion ripple as though through your body. But the fire, the smoke, the impact of the shrapnel has not reached you. It's just a few rooms away.
Yeah.
And people start screaming and running out of the building. Waterbenders start dispensing water from pipes in the ceiling and channeling it into the fire. And so you just see chaos.
So, keeping in mind what happens typically to good things that happen to Jingmin, she'll instantly go to all three of my friends were in that explosion and they're all either dying or dead. So she's going to sprint at full speed to where she heard the blast from and go there and search for her friends.
Okay. Jingmin, you step through into the area of the archives proper, and there is just scorched, charred floors, things on fire still, mostly papers, people being carried out, folks coughing and fighting away from the smoke. But you do not see your friends in this room.
For a little bit, she'll like take some time to be like, Amahk! Fumi! Lin! And she'll like yell that out for a while. And she'll see everyone else struggling. So this room is kind of like filling up with smoke and people are like struggling to get out.
Yeah.
To try to help that, Jingmin will look at any window she can find, either on the ceiling or on the walls of this room, and try to shoot them all open to try to just get more airflow going through this room.
Okay. I will say that despite the strength of your bow, you discover just how thick the glass is on the ceiling of this building. And your arrows just ricochet. They don't hurt anybody, but they clatter to the ground after a few shots.
All right. So then what Jingmin will do, seeing she can't break any windows, is she'll stand in the entryway of this room and she'll shoot an arrow kind of right dead center towards the opposite wall of the room that's attached to a rope. And as it sticks into the wall, she'll tie the end next to her onto something near her. And she'll go kind of to the center of the room, grabbing onto the rope, and just shout out, "Follow the sound of my voice! If you're still alive, follow the sound of my voice. Come to me."
Wow. I think that is something you are very capable of, Jingmin, and I will not make you roll for it. And so
Cool.
It works, and people are able to follow your voice in the chaos, and some of them find their way to the rope and use it sort of as a guide, despite having trouble seeing and breathing, to come back out towards the entrance.
Yeah.
Let's cut to Fumi, Lin, and Amahk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Fumi's gonna go back and like help people with her airbending, try and get that smoke gone.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Jingmin's fully accepted in her own mind that all three of her friends are dead.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
She hasn't seen them yet.
Yeah, so Fumi has made a decision to head back into the building and help folks. I'm just curious, Lin and Amahk, if you follow, or if you, having seen the police officer that she was looking at and tailing for a second, if you go after that person.
Lin is in a full state of shock. Lin feels like a prophet. She is a prophet. And feels is paralyzed, physically unable to move.
In my mind, I feel like the explosion happened the second Lynn finished explaining what was gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And Mook just looks up to it like,
No, I didn't do it. I just figured it out was gonna happen. I didn't do it.
no one's blaming you, Lynn. No one's blaming you. You tried to get us out of there. I think Fumi's okay. I don't know about Jingmin, and now I'm worried about that. I'm gonna run in there and check. You hang out here and see if that weird police guy makes a circle back.
You go in. I'll be right here. And Lynn turns around and finds the nearest bush and vomits. Just
Just a reminder
Yep.
of lines and veils. Yep. But yes. So Lynn has a moment of terrible discomfort. Amahk, you go in. That
As
cop
I'm
is
running
gone.
in, I want to just take the water from the dump station with me,
Yeah.
just in case I need it.
Yeah.
Start
yeah.
hosing down some stuff.
Yeah. And so Amahk, yeah, you're able to accelerate the cool down, put out some fires, and people seem grateful for the help. And it was let's say a solid hour of collaboration with everybody before things reached a point of stability. Everybody seemed carried out that needed carried out. And Jingmin, after a while, the trickle of folks using the rope stops. The smoke clears, and you're able to see. Amahk has been looking in the midst of helping. You're able to see each other.
Amahk! And Jingmin will sprint and jump. And now she's fully horizontal at his head level, flying towards him, and just trample onto him.
Amahk will embrace Jingmin and just hug while still waterbending. You're okay. I was really
I
worried.
found 3 bodies and the skin was burning off of them, and I was so sure it was you. Just tears running down her face.
We're okay. Everyone's fine.
I was
Lynn's
going to turn myself
outside.
in. I thought it was my fault for some reason. Maybe it was my fault.
How? How would you have done this? Do you have explosives?
Oh no, I shot a pencil pusher in the forehead with an arrow.
You shot a pencil pusher with an arrow?
He saw me.
Murdered someone in cold blood because they saw you?
Oh, it was one of these arrows. She grabs one of her rubber ball tipped arrows and whacks him in the head with it.
Oh, thank God.
Boing.
Wait, the docent, is she alive?
The
We'll
what?
never get to hear the end of the speech.
No!
The old lady who was giving me information. I don't know if she made it. I need to check. Did she make it?
You turn as you ask that question, Amahk, and there is a Republic City firewoman has this docent kind of over her arm. She's helping her out of the building, and the docent is blathering on about something or other. And that's why in the fire of 88, we had a much worse time. By comparison, this attack was fairly
Oh my God.
Okay,
Min will
she's
say, I'm so sorry, Amahk. I should have talked to you guys first. I really wanted to bring my bow in.
Okay. It's all right. Next time, we can just check the bow. And you'll be fine.
The only person who checks my bow is me.
It's fine. Let's go get Fumi and Lynn and find out what's happening here. Find
They're
out what
fine
they
too. They're not
destroyed.
dead.
No, they're not dead. I promise. I just left them. They're okay.
Okay.
On the subject of that little point of advice that I think you just gave to Jingmin, Amahk, I'd like for you to roll guide and comfort.
I love how this is, I think, like the third or fourth time someone's tried guiding and comforting Jingmin.
Yeah.
Jingmin is not easily guided or comforted.
That is a 9. How modified?
Okay. Any harmony bonus there, or are you good?
-1 to my harmony, so 8.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. And can you clarify for us? I know we heard a little bit in that dialogue. It was great because it's organic dialogue.
Mhm.
What is the thing that Amahk would most like to impress upon Jingmin with the words that
Making
you've shared?
sure that Jingmin just always remembers to like take a beat and confer with others before acting rashly on their own.
Okay. I love that. Well, let's see. We are on the middle zone. I feel like my notes are incorrect. I've transposed guide and comfort notes. But if
Oh,
you're in
no.
the 7 to 9 zone, is it they embrace your guidance and comfort?
They can choose one. I can choose one. I can either embrace it or
yes.
shut them down.
What would you choose, Danny?
I think in this moment of vulnerability for Jingmin,
Hmm.
I think she does embrace this.
Okay.
And I
You
think I
may
kind of
clear
reflected
a
that
condition.
too. Yeah, I think I did kind of reflect that too, like in her apology of it as well. Like she, in this moment,
This is
agrees with the Amahk and is like,
such
I
a
could have
big
done this
event.
better. Yeah.
But it's one of those like, it's when you're a kid and you realize the adult was right and you're like, oh no.
Yeah. It
I
was like a
hated
full
those.
explosion. This is the first time Jingmin's been in a building that's had an explosion in it, which isn't a very common thing, but maybe it will be throughout this campaign.
Well, yeah, you can either clear 2 fatigue or a condition.
I think I'll choose a condition, and I think I'll choose angry because it makes more sense for Jingmin to remain guilty and troubled.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tears sept out the anger.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
she's
Jingmin,
just
can
sad.
you give us just a little exposition on that shift inside of you?
Yeah. So Jingmin, I said at the beginning of the session, she very much enjoyed seeing like that outward like approval of her skill that she experienced, but she is still very much so emotionally walking like on thin ice with that. Like the slightest wrong thing happens and she just goes into total self-deprecation. I'm terrible. My parents were right. Like you were right. I'm not ready for this kind of stuff. And so she's no longer, I think the anger condition kind of coincided with some pride that she still had. But as that anger falls, now so does this sort of confidence she had.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, Mook, they've embraced your guidance and comfort. You may ask one question. Jingmin must answer honestly if you would like to use that.
I think I won't use it just because, like, narratively, I feel like now's not the time. We'd
What's
be
the
worrying
meaning
about
of life?
we gotta go find Fumi and Lynn, make sure they're okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you step outside. You see Lynn still dutifully. Well, Lynn, let me ask: are you there? Are you still in
Lynn
place?
is in vaguely the same area, but about 10 steps to the left of the accident. And is leaning against a wall, like watching like a hawk, like the most nervous, shifty-eyed. What is going on? Who is here? What is happening? And really trying to deduce any kind of information that could possibly piece some of this together for her scared little mind.
Okay. I think we'll hold on to any revelation or clarity on processing that at this point. Normally, if we had time, I'd have you roll assess the situation, see if you pick anything up on the exit. Fumi, can you narrate for us in closing just kind of how you helped with the fire and coming out of the building whenever your character's ready.
Yeah, Fumi focused most on like getting the smoke cleared so that people could exit, like, and also using her airbending to try and like get some rubble out of the way. When it like so she went all the way in to the heart of it. With the fire, she tried to like keep the air like away from it to try and
Love it.
minimize it. So she worked hard in there before finally coming out to regroup with everyone, make sure everybody's okay, because she had no idea where Jingmin was, actually. She just kind of assumed she was somewhere outside the building. And also,
Perfect.
Lynn still did not look very okay when she left.
Yes. Yeah. Well. No boring days here on Legends of the New Republic,
Oh no.
it would seem.
Linstradamus. That's what I'll have to say.
Thank you all for role playing. As always, thank you to everybody watching on Twitch and folks listening later on your podcatchers. If you haven't yet, we'd love a rating on whatever your podcatcher of choice is. Helps folks find the show. And if you haven't followed us on your various platforms, please do. Thanks for listening this long and for hanging with us. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Don't forget the Patreon, the musical episode.
Yes.
We have to
Yes.
make a goal for that.
We are now just on the thanks for watching screen on Twitch. No one can hear us.
So we can't
Okay.
just have like a chill episode where you just like, is this filler?
I just want to do a shopping episode, guys.
I just
Lynn
wanna
would love to
shop.
be able to shop.
I know. I mean, y'all, I do not mind making a note and having a shopping episode. It's honestly, I had very few things prepared for the archives bit. I was just like, that just seems related. It's informational. You know, it would be important
Yeah.
for them to remove certain things about the crimes of the Red Lotus. How limited or targeted or vast is that information? All that stuff. And so I was like, I don't know. I think it's a bomb to the whole place rather than like an artifact of symbolic importance. So,
No, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
I do. This was very. I was looking at my face as soon as you mentioned the explosion, and all your faces, and we were all just like,
Well, listen. That was scary.
yeah.
I love the idea
Also,
of
the
Lynn
fact
putting two
that
and two together.
Lynn basically foresaw it, just like
Yeah.
that dread.
yeah.
That dread
Yeah.
of, oh, this is happening, it's coming, I don't know when it's happening, but it happens, and so she's just like, no.
We were 10 minutes too late.
Mm-hmm. That
Good,
goddamn
and
sweaty cop.
Yeah.
That
Noodles.
sweaty pig.
And I'm curious, like, how this lands with y'all. Oh wow, Justin said best episode so far, friends. That was really good. Well, I didn't expect that. I mean, I
Oh.
think it's a great episode. Y'all have done wonderful.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious, like, while it's fresh, I know I put you through a lot emotionally there. How does this feel in terms of the balance of progress? Like, does it feel like this whole episode was just like failures? Does it feel like you have new information? Like, how does it feel to you as a player?
I would say a little bit of both of those. Like, we weren't able to stop them before they came, but now we have like this map of stuff of where they're gonna
Yeah.
hit, and we know that it's accurate.
That's true. It's a confirmation of the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this episode was very vital in showing our characters just how serious and dire the situation is. I feel like before we were sort of just like, oh, you know, it's like a thing, the Red Lotus, they're like stealing artifacts. But now it's like, oh, but they're also bombing places. That is not good at all.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Helpful. Any other thoughts?
I've got nothing to add, really.
Okay. Cool.
My idea for distraction was domestic terrorism, so that lined up perfectly. I was like, we got to distract the police. I know a safe house we can blow up to bring their attention.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
that was my
Just leave a
plan.
big black
There you
They're
go.
just
footprint
doing
on
it for you. They're just doing it for you.
I mean, Amahk hasn't been 100% cured of his equalist days. So
Look, I have never been a good guy. I'm just getting better. That's the important.
That's the important thing. Yeah.
One thing I do
Results versus restraints.
Yeah. One thing I do want to mention is I would really love to see some kind of exchange sometime soon.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Well, let's make that our homework. Between this episode and next, if you can make sure you feel comfortable with the basics of exchanges, it's definitely plausible that would happen in the next few episodes. The other thing to expect is that, we could have just time traveled, quote unquote, to be like, let's, in 2 days, we'll go to the training for the pro bender thing. I'm expecting that might be in the next episode, depending on the decisions your characters make. So there's a section on pro bending in the Korra supplement, or Public City supplement. Super fun. I think the only thing, I'll support and facilitate anything that happens with pro bending, but the thing that would be important to know is just kind of like glance over the moves, because there are moves that you can use if you're in the arena just as a spectator, and there are moves that you can use on the hexagon if you're actually a player in the pro bending match. And it's fun, and there's some overlap, and it's very narrative focused, but it still tries to imitate aspects of the sport. So
nice. Does it have any for like airbending on there?
Well, there are not element specific moves. It's kind of more like a fictional catch-all of like this thing that is tied to an outcome in the match, and so you narrate based on the move, like, oh, we win round 1,
Yeah.
So there's some fun mechanics.
There's the book.
Okay, I'll
cool.
have to look at that.
Yeah.
Maybe Jingming can start shooting arrows at the participants.
Just go for the finisher
stands.
move from the stands.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that's right.
There's
You can always break the game. That's true, Danny. You can, if Jingmin wants to just break the rules and attack.
Will that trigger my breaking mastery?
Breaking rules,
breaking the game,
breaking the will of employees of government buildings. We're really trying to figure this breaking out.
Murdering a pencil pusher.
I was wondering if I was going to narrate the pencil pusher was left behind or just unconscious at his desk.
That would completely ruin Jingmin.
Yeah. I pulled that punch because I just didn't feel like you did anything to warrant that level of consequence.
I just have to say that if Lynn ever finds out that happened, it's all.
Yeah. We're already traumatizing your character so much the way you're processing this, Will.
They're not doing it well. But you know what? She's going to get there. I'm so sorry.
Let me know if there's any shift that would help with Lynn's mental health. Obviously, no explosions might be good, but like if there's anything you want us to do directionally that will help Lynn, then let me know.
I'm waiting for the right moment for her to take charge in her own agency, if that makes sense. Like some sort of moment to activate her in a way.
Yeah. Okay. Like if you have any ideas about ways I can set that up.
Okay.
But no pressure. Yeah.
Maybe like a moment of balance.
I'd love to set up.
I don't think
that's true. That's one way that could be.
I don't think we're near that just yet.
No. We haven't earned our first advancement, but once we do, we can choose moment of balance.
I only got 1 growth this time around. So my take a bit.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah. A little growth to do remaining.
No, but
awesome, y'all. Well. Any questions for me or tips, feedback?
I've got nothing. Oh, and I already hung up all of you from Video Ninja, so.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. All right. Well, let me know if you need anything, and enjoy nerding out over some of the pro bending mechanics. And Danny, for you especially, since you wouldn't be even allowed to pro bend unless you pretend to be a bender, which also is a fictional option.
Really?
I mean,
that
like,
would be interesting.
All right.
Just
I'll
a book and
indulge.
laying on the sidelines.
Yeah. Normally
the bending
GMs have
for
to
Jingmin.
pull all their surprises, right? But so I'm picturing a shift in the temperature of like the stakes, where it's like you think you were going to go to a training practice, but like Mao comes out or desperately gets a hold of you somehow, Fumi, and is like, things are moving really quickly. Zephyr and a bunch of other bigwigs pulled together this exhibition match. And specifically, they have an airbender on the other side, replacing one of the usual folks who would be on the Buzzard Wasps. And this is actually tapping into some of the fiction that's in the Korra supplement. There's like a famous airbender, lapsed triad member from the Terra Triad. And she has been like already featured in sports articles and journalism and stuff for trying to bring airbending into pro bending. And so you, Fumi, for sure, given your interest in that, would be aware of this character.
Oh, probably a huge fan too.
Yeah, exactly. And so you may have to face off at this exhibition match after only like 30 minutes of practice or something beforehand, type of a deal.
Yeah.
And so I'm picturing their team, your team, having been sabotaged. So like Xian and 1010 and anybody else who is normally in the lineup, like everybody but Mao will be like conspicuously absent. So Mao's going to need a filler. So one of the PCs plus Fumi is going to have to be part of the 3 who pro bend, and that would probably leave the other 2 of you with arena moves as people who can before, during, and after the match do certain things. So just think through that lens if that helps narrow the focus at all. That's what I have imagined. We may not even do the match next time. It depends on what your characters choose. So
Yeah.
all
I
right.
think Jingmin will definitely be betting on the match.
That is a move. You can bet. Put those 5 piles of cash to use.
I can
5
picture
handfuls.
Jingmin having a gambling problem as like an 11-year-old.
Hey, some of us lived that life.
As a
Hey,
trauma
that's
response,
representation.
it'll be a trauma response to the explosion.
Well, nothing's
Ooh,
guaranteed anymore.
there you
Let's go
go.
gamble.
Let's go gamble.
you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We could die at any moment. I'm gambling.
Great short-term plan, you know.
Yes.
All right, y'all. Appreciate you so much. Great work as always.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.